Hi, everybody. I'm Pam, and that's Lisa, and we are Restful Parenting. We are holistic infant and child sleep consultants, as well as early childhood educators, and we work with families from prenatal right through to school age, helping them learn the ins and outs of sleep. So, teaching independent sleep, working on healthy sleep foundations, anything pretty much to do with sleep. So today we wanted to chat a little bit about that 3 to 2 nap transition. We've had a lot of questions and concerns within the group, especially about this transition. So we thought we would take a couple minutes, pop on, and kind of guide you guys through some of the ins and outs of it.
We've had a lot of people wondering if their 6-month-olds or if their 7-month-olds are ready to transition to 2 naps. And we really recommend having 3 naps until closer to 8-9 months. We do realize that with a lot of babies and a lot of families, that 3rd nap can be a huge pain. But for most little ones, it's needed as it bridges that time from the time that they wake up from their last nap of the day to bedtime. So it really does them a lot of good to just have a little cat nap in between that time so that they make it to bedtime. Otherwise, they might need to go too long from the time they wake up from their nap until bedtime. And then that can cause extra night disturbances, so extra night waking, restless sleep, and it can also cause early rising. So early rising is waking before 6 o'clock in the morning, because what happens is baby goes to bed overtired and then they wake up lots more times during the night that night.
It can also cause, going to bed overtired can also cause them to struggle falling asleep for that bedtime, or waking soon after they've gone to sleep. So if your little one is waking soon after having gone to bed, that's usually a sign of being overtired.
Depending on all the other factors, if they are already putting themselves to sleep and you've got everything, you've got all your ducks in a row and they're still doing that, then it's a pretty good indication that they've gone to bed overtired. Now, some little babies are ready to go down to 2 naps before that age. However, it's not what we like to jump to immediately, because in order for babies to be ready to go to 2 naps, they need to be sleeping for a long time for their 1st and 2nd nap so that they're getting all the daytime sleep that they need. But also they need to be able to handle going longer in between the time they wake up in the morning to their 1st nap and then their 1st nap to their 2nd nap, so that ideally they're waking a little bit later in the afternoon, and we'll go over that schedule in a little bit, and then they don't have to go too long to bedtime. So if you're a little one, chances are 6-7 months, they can't handle too long of being awake for, and a lot of the times they don't sleep for longer than an hour and 15 minutes at a time, and then that just may not be enough to get them all the way to bedtime without becoming overtired. So that's why we really push that 3rd nap until 9 months. But babies do not like to have that 3rd nap. So
that nap can be a struggle for a lot of families.
Yes. So one of the things that we do advise you to do is, while you're establishing that schedule with 3 naps, have that 3rd nap on the go. So whether it's in a carrier, in the car seat, just somewhere that they're going to sleep, so that you don't have to listen to them, potentially protesting that 3rd nap for the whole time, or you're not sitting there trying to rock them and they're not going to sleep. So try doing it in one of those places, and then once that 3rd nap is established, then you can start doing it in their bed.
It's really important too to remember that 3rd nap should really only be about 45 minutes long. We really don't want it to be any longer, because that can interfere with bedtime and through the night as well. So
yep, perfect. And Pam, do you have anything else to?
No, just the schedule kind of transitioning. So we know that, okay, babies between 8 and 9 months, sleep has been going well, but now it's kind of starting to fall apart a little bit, right? So when we know that they're ready for a transition, usually we'll have struggles falling asleep, we'll have struggles staying asleep, we'll start to see some early rising, some falling apart through the night. So if sleep has kind of been on track,
yeah, or despite your best efforts, they just absolutely, you've done everything and they absolutely will not take that 3rd nap. regardless of what you did.
Mm-hmm. So, knowing when they're ready to transition is key. So usually that's when we start to see sleep kind of get a little bit messier. Mind you, that is kind of for ones that are already well rested and sleeping on their own, because sometimes if they're not, that sleep can get messy regardless. But if they're between 8 and 9 months of age, that transition to 2 naps is all going to be about that schedule. So knowing when they're ready, and then once they are ready, then and we'll chat you through that schedule transition.
Shifting their schedule a little bit is going to be key, so that they're going a little bit later in the day now. So when they were 6 months, perhaps you did, if they woke up at 6:30 in the morning, we'll take a baby who wakes up at 6:30 in the morning, because that's quite common. So let's say at 6-7 months, you're on a 3-nap schedule. They're waking at 6:30 in the morning. Maybe they had their morning nap at 8:30 and their afternoon nap, 12-ish, let's just say. And then their third nap more towards 3:30 or 3:15 for 45 minutes, whatever the case may have been with your schedule. You're going to want to push that morning nap to be a little bit later. So more like 9:15, maybe even 9:30. And then afternoon nap, 1:15, perhaps even 1:30, so that they're then sleeping at least until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then they don't have to go quite as long to bedtime. Bedtime can be as early as 6 o'clock when you're making this transition, because they're not used to going that long. So an early bedtime, and then once they're used to it and their bodies have had a chance to get used to the new timings,
and
you can start to push
lengthen.
Exactly. You can start to push bedtime a little bit later again, so that you're more towards 6:30.
So if we're starting with a 6:30, the goal is, instead of keeping your regular schedule of like that 8:30 and 12, and then having baby awake from 1:30 to 6:30, what we want to do is kind of stretch all of those wake windows. So that morning wake up to first nap to second nap, we're stretching that a little bit. And then a second nap to bedtime, we're stretching that a little bit, so that the day is a little more even and spaced out versus, regular schedule and then a super long nap, because that will absolutely cause a ton of sleep challenges.
Perfect. So if your baby is below the age of 8-9 months and you're having a really hard time getting that third nap in there, regardless of everything that you've tried, our last resort, and this is not very fun, because it's never very fun to wake a sleeping baby, but our last resort is to shorten the first nap of the day, the second nap. So they're sleeping for an hour to an hour and 15 in the morning, an hour to an hour and 15 in the afternoon, and then you make room for that 45-minute cat nap a little bit later. So if you've tried everything and your baby's sleeping for an hour and a half for one nap, maybe an hour and 15 for the other nap, it could just be that they don't feel the need to have that third nap quite as much. So you could try, before cutting it out altogether, before they might be ready, try shortening the first nap, the second nap, and then that will most likely for sure leave sleep drive for that third nap, so that they will take it.
Yes.
And like we said, that's one of our last resorts. We don't like to go there because nobody, you've worked so hard on getting your child to sleep a little bit longer, but in the end, it might help protect that overnight sleep by doing that, so that you don't transition them before they're ready, because then that can derail things a little bit.
It's all about protecting that schedule, right? We understand that, babies need 3 to 4 hours of daytime sleep at this age. So some babies can easily do 4 hours. So sleeping an hour and a half and sleeping an hour and a half and then sleeping for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, not an issue for them. Other babies, it is like 3 hours and they can only handle 3 hours. So that's why, as Lisa said, that hour and 15, and then 45 minutes for that last one. So it really is about protecting that schedule. The more consistent you can be with that schedule, the more on track you are with that schedule, the more predictable and consistent your day-to-day is going to be, because it's going to be awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. So it really does make a difference to really look at that schedule. And if that's something that you're struggling with, if you're struggling with adjusting to the schedule, if you're struggling with, getting that third nap in and you're just not sure, that's what our 30 and 60 minute pick our brain calls are perfect for. Perfect for them.
Yeah.
And then we're able to kind of go through your current schedule, where you need to make tweaks, how you can adjust it, and then how you can go about protecting that third nap to ensure that you're not dropping it too early, causing bedtime battles, causing night wakings, frequent night wakings, or those long ready to party in the middle of the night wakings, or even that early rising. Because waking before 6 is, I feel like, torture. But
yes, for sure. So yes, our pick our brain calls are fantastic for that. We can help you evaluate whether your child is ready to drop the nap. We can help, set you up with a plan A and a plan B for, what to do with that schedule just in case, so that you have a little bit of a game plan moving forward with the schedule. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, info@restfulparenting.com. If you would like to set up one of our 30 or 60 minute pick our brain calls, we'll write a link. We'll post a link to that in the comments with the pricing and everything. And we're also going to post a link with a couple of ideas of schedules for a 3 nap day and a 2 nap day.
Yeah. So if you guys have anything you'd like to ask us or respond to about this video, don't be shy to put it in the comments, and we will get back to you. And if you need any extra help or support, we're always here.
All right.
We love
Bye.
Bye.